This is a build update for Exsanguinate and Seismic Trap Trapper. The build was made by Path of Math. I'm not making a build guide for it because he already has one, and I don't feel like I'm qualified for such a thing. On the other hand, I do feel like I'm qualified to talk about how to progress the build, since, well, I've been doing that. So that's what I'm going to be talking about here. There's a pretty good leveling guide for this build by Path of Math on the POB. Let me find that. Yeah, there it is. You can check the notes section. He's got like a full explanation of what to do, which gems to use, what kind of links you should look for. Specifically, when I was leveling, I was playing with a friend, and we got really lucky, and when we killed Mervale, she dropped a tabula, which I used. I was using until 2 days ago, or yesterday or something, when I swapped it out, but we'll talk about that later. Which, that allowed me to use Exsanguinate when I started Act 6, as soon as I got access to Lily, which might not be your experience if you don't have the links. But leveling was a breeze. Even with the friend that I was leveling with, he was not as experienced with PoE, so in some situations I was pretty much doing damage for 2 people every so often, and it was totally fine. I blasted through all the content. We got 2 maps in 8 hours, and for day 1 I hit maps, and that is where I ended. I was super tired after playing for pretty much 8 hours straight. I ate something and went to sleep. So on day 2, it was just getting starter gear. I will show links. Yeah, let's do that. So ignore the Tinker Skin, just pretend it's a tabula for the moment. So until I got these gloves, which we'll talk about later, I was using Exsanguinate, my 6th link, for leveling, which was fine up until early reds. For Exsanguinate, I was going with Exsanguinate, Trap, Cluster Trap, Trap Damage, Brutality, and Chain. Let me fix my camera a bit here. Then, if you're on a 5 link, I think you should probably remove Brutality instead of removing Trap and Mind Damage. And that's probably fine with the 6 link to early red maps. If you are playing on a 5 link, you probably want to focus on getting the 6 link, especially with Krangling. It's just not very difficult to get a 6 link this league between Krangling, 5 link Harvest, and then Corrupting, and then using a Tainted Fusing, or using Jeweler's Touch from Navali. That's not the Jeweler's Touch. And then Seismic Trap, I was using Seismic Trap, Advanced Traps, Trap and Mind Damage, and Increased Crits, and I was using that until I swapped off of my Tabula. So my Exsanguinate was in a 6 link until I got this Tinker Skin, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So for the first Exalt worth of currency on day 2, I pretty much just farmed like low maps. I did some delving. I got a Venomous Shroud from a Hidden Heirlooms, which sold for 30 chaos. Let's see. I sold some Krangled, like +1 wands. And I sold some Krangled 5 links that I've turned into 6 links for Divine Orbs, and then sold those Divine Orbs, which they were only like 5 chaos at that point, but it adds up. So first I just bought 2 +1 level spell skill or Fizz spells wands, just the absolute worst ones that I could find, which were like 15C each, since this was day 2 of the league. And yeah, so I think this is one of those ones, and then this one we'll talk about later. So with just those generic wands, a 4 link Seismic Trap, and a 6 link Exsanguinate, I was fine into early reds, like I said. Then at the end of day 2, I picked up a Trap and Mind Cluster Jewel, which I'm still using. This was 50C and was my big purchase for day 2. This one, which has Guerrilla Tactics and Set and Forget. Yeah, this was like 50, 55C. So that was like 70, 80C for my first day of play. For my first day of mapping, anyway. Let's see. I'll probably edit this out. Okay, yeah, at the end of day 3... So then at the end of day 3, I bought these gloves. These were probably less expensive than they should have been. They are level 20 trap with pretty good life and 3.5% crit chance. They have +1 AoE crafted on them right now, which doesn't do anything for Xang. So I'll probably craft something else on it eventually, but for now they're fine. I bought those for 140 chaos, which was pretty much all the currency that I had after day 3's day of play. I got an Exalt as a drop, and then I added in like 70 chaos. Exalts were like 70 chaos at that point. So yeah. So I bought these. These are probably going to be... I probably won't replace these for like a week or two. These gloves are very good. Yeah, they're going to be sticking around. So yeah, after I bought the Cluster Jewel and those gloves, I was pretty much out of currency. Day 4, I did some Jun. Let me throw some traps to regen my health here. Day 4, I did some Jun, and I get trigger socketed spells as a craft. So I go to make a wand with that, and to do that, don't sleep on this craft, is any item that can roll +1 X gems, and then 40% worth of quality gems, so like, I don't know, this kind of thing, and you will get a +1 to level of all X. So these gems all share the cold tag, so it's giving me cold. So this is Ice Trap, Cold Snap, and Frostbolt. So you can see spell projectile cold, spell AoE cold duration, trap spell AoE cold. So yeah, that'll give me one of these. And then you can just do that, and then do this, and then craft spell damage. It's up to you if you want to craft like big boy spell damage or small boy spell damage. Probably don't want to use the 1x spell damage craft unless you hit. Oops, I need that. Well, actually, not that bad. Anyway, don't sleep on that craft. You can get quality gems from Legion. You can get quality gems from Heist. You can get quality gems from Blighted maps and Blighted rewards. You can get quality gems from temples in the Doriani's Institute. You can get quality gems just finding them on the ground. I think my filter shows quality gems if they are like 13% and up or something like that. Maybe it's 10% because I want, like, if I vendor 4 gems, I want to get a GCP back, because that's what I usually do with them. So yeah, don't sleep on that. That's how I made this wand. I got +1 Fizz, and then I augmented into crit, and then I regaled into bad intelligence, and then I craft trigger on it, and went on my merry way. So I just stuck vulnerability and life tap in here because I don't have enough mana to cast vulnerability with the 150% more cost. And then bear trap is also in here, but because bear trap is a trap, it is only supported by life tap. And it doesn't cost very much life in the first place. So yeah, there you go. So yeah, I make this wand. I also got my gems to level 20 and flip them. You can do that by, you can take a level 20 gem. That is not a level 20 gem. Seismic Trap. And you take a level 20 gem and vendor it with the GCP. Which you can do that for all of your supports, because that will not be a huge DPS loss. You recruit the DPS pretty quick. I wouldn't do that for actual main skills. Like, I did not do that for Seismic Trap, and I did not do that for Exsanguinate, because losing levels on those is pretty difficult. You could possibly do it for Seismic Trap if you think you're really going to be starved on GCPs, if you're like an SSF or something. But if you're in Trade League, I would just buy GCPs or vendor your quality gems, to get enough. Let's see, what's next? Auras, I'm using War Banner, Skitterbots, Purity of Elements, and Grace. I have a Pride leveled, but I'm not using it at the moment because I insist on using Purity of Elements because I want full elemental ailment immunity, not just like freeze immunity or shock immunity or ignite immunity, because I want to be doing Simulacrum, which has Brittle, Scorch, and Sap on it, which Brittle and Scorch especially are very dangerous. So I would much prefer to have full elemental ailment immunity rather than using... Where even is the tree elemental ailment immunity? Here it is. These, because if you use these nodes to get part of your ailment immunity, then you don't... Getting this doesn't give you immunity to sap. So even if you got all three of these, and then these, and then this, and then, I don't know, got a shield and did this or something like that, you would still be able to be brittled and sapped and scorched, which is very bad in Simulacrum. Let's see, I'm using 2 defensive auras instead of 1 defensive aura and Pride. If at some point I can get elemental ailment immunity on my gear, because I think it rolls on more gear pieces now, so I could possibly roll it like here and here, and then maybe get like 70% from that, and then anoint like 30% somewhere, then I would do that, and then I could swap off of Purity of Elements and go for Pride instead. Another option would be getting the All Amulet, or simply getting more skill points and taking this. I'm not sure that would work. I would probably have to anoint Sovereignty instead, which is 3 silver oils nowadays, apparently. Which I haven't used my anoint yet, so that's still something I'm thinking about. Let's see. Yeah, to kick off day 5, I bought a Tinker Skin, started my stream, spent some jewelers and fusings. I kind of combined those two, but I spent some jewelers and fusings on it to make it 5-link. 5-link 6 socket, headed straight into a temple, double corrupted it. It hit 6 whites, as you can see. Grabbed the tainted fusing, bam, popped that on there, and got a 6-link. So I just immediately replaced that with my tabula. I went for the defensive body armor of Tinker Skin over like something offensive like a spell crit chest, or I don't think explodey chest works with traps, but like a spell crit chest or something like that, because I felt like I was having a lot of problem with my regen from all of my skills consuming life instead of mana. So I opted to get this because it has 100 life recovered when your trap is triggered by an enemy, or recovered 50 energy shield. So for my total links with my tabula replaced, I have Steel Skin on left mouse button, Bear Trap, which is here, not supported by anything except for life tap. Vulnerability, also with life tap in the trigger wand. Then I have Flame Dash and a level 7 Arcane Surge. This should be level 6, but I'm lazy. Because then it would trigger every time I Flame Dashed instead of every other time I Flame Dash. But yeah. I'm lazy, it's fine. It's not bothering me. Exsanguinate is in my trap gloves with trap and mind damage, cluster traps, and chain support. And then, of course, Exsanguinate. Then Seismic Trap has increased crits, advanced traps, trap and mind damage, life tap, and brutality, along with Seismic Trap, of course. And then my auras are Skitterbots, Purity of Elements, Grace, and War Banner. Unfortunately, I don't think that 3-linking or having Skitterbots, Grace, and Purity of Elements on Enlighten would be enough to fit in Pride. I would still need more mana reservation efficiency. But I will look into the math of that at some point. So currently, my progression is I have killed A8 Sirus with this build. That is the last thing that I did before I logged off. So this character, as it was, killed A8, as it is right now, killed A8 Sirus. So yeah, I'll put a paste bin pub import of exactly what this character is right now, and you can see that, yes, this character can kill Sirus. Granted, that might not be that impressive. I think this character has about 5x worth of investment in it at this point, because this would be 2. Probably each of these are maybe like half of an X, and then I have life crit multi-jewels in each slot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. I think those were like an X total. I think they were like 15C each. So yeah, something like 4 or 5x for this character at the moment. And now we will look at Path of Math skill tree versus the changes that I made. So you can see he has a Phys cluster jewel and then 2 of these, which this is the cluster jewel that I have. Well, it has the same notables as the cluster jewel that I have, and then you can see his cluster jewels are random stats, but all of them have percent life. And okay, actually this one does not have percent life and multi, but most of them have percent life and then multi. See, that one's got percent life and multi, percent life multi int, percent life multi, and I believe he took acrobatics, I think, which at first I was not taking acrobatics, and then I ended up deciding to do that. So currently this is what my tree looks like. I've taken the evasion and energy shield nodes here because I took Ghost Dance. With Tinker Skin on, I have around 600 ES, yeah, 650. And then my evasion is 14,000, 3% of 14,000, which is the amount of evasion or energy shield that recovers based on your evasion rating, is 420. Nice. So I'm recovering about all of my energy shield, and then with my Jade Flask up, I have 24k evasion rating, which is more than enough to be recovering all of my energy shield whenever I get hit. I hope to end up with like at least 1,000 energy shield and then 30k evasion once I swap all of my gear pieces to having better evasion ES rolls on them. And also possibly looking at Zeri's Step for my boots once I get 1 more skill point, because then I'll be able to take the +1 ES per 8 evasion on boots, and Zeri's Step has, I think, 600 or 700 evasion on them, and then chance to suppress spells, which will give me like 10%-ish dodge, which right now I have 27%, and then when I use my flask I go up to 32%. So that'll bring me up to like 40% with the flask up, which isn't the worst. Having a lot of evasion has been pretty helpful in Scourge. Spell dodge is also really necessary in Scourge, I think. Eventually, I might swap off of this chest for like a T1 spell suppression roll. But for the moment, the enjoyment of being able to just buy a Tinkerskin 5-link it and then double corrupt it is too much for me. And my meager monkey brain cannot handle the funny number go big. So, next couple of upgrades, replacing my remaining starting gear, which is going to be this helmet, these boots, this belt, both the rings, then this amulet's probably next to go. I have 1 cold iron point that I bought. I'm not sure that I want to swap it out because I'll lose my trigger. According to POB, we look at this, and we go here. No, not that one. Hold on. We look at this. We go to skills, and we look at my vulnerability. You can see that it's only 11k average hit, which is 7.7%, which doesn't seem right to me for 39% increased physical damage, but maybe I'm just a fool? maybe it's not very good, so I should replace it for Cold Iron Point. I'm not sure. Yeah, if you know why vulnerability doesn't seem to be very efficient here, you let me know. Anyway, well, I guess maybe it's because I'm on Sirus. Because I'm on Sirus? Config. Enemy's a boss. 66% less effective your hexes. Skills. This is the wrong POB. Hold on. Config. No, there we go. Skills. That is definitely better. Okay, that might be why. I mean, the hardest thing in Simulacrum are Kosis and Omniphobia, so it might be relevant to replace that. So we'll see. The build still has plenty of work to do. My end goal for this build would be getting Wave 30 Simulacrum. I enjoy Simulacrum. I like running it. I think it's pretty fun. I think it has varied rewards. I like the loot explosions. I'm a simple man. So that is where we're headed with this. If you have any questions, you can throw them in the comments. Check out my Twitch streams. I'll put the link in the description. Yeah, that's about it. It's interesting that this Arcane Surgeon attaching itself to Pride. Cannot support skills. Okay, so it's supporting it because it's a Volgraze. I see. Well, that's enough idle musing. If this video gets 100 views on my stream a couple days ago, maybe it was yesterday, I don't know. Time is an illusion. I spent probably an hour discussing with myself which of the lore characters in PoE would make good parents, who would pay child support. And yeah, if this gets 100 views, I will clip that together and upload that, because I thought it was funny. It entertained me for like 2 hours. So maybe you'll think it was funny. And it'll entertain you for like 7 minutes once I clip it all up. And, I mean, who doesn't like a good, like, tier list style content? So yeah, that's that. I'm gonna price check this, I guess. Probably not anything. Just get rid of that. Do this. See if PoE Overlay wants to tell me what's the deal. Hold on. Awaken. Get up. Bambi, you must get up. Alright, well, never mind. Bye!
Did you really think this would work?
Did you really think this would work?
We want to help you. Don't do anything hasty.
Destroying you is as easy as flicking a pest.
No! Kirak!
How boring.
How
and
boring and small. He sounds like a Linux user.
You want the Atlas?
On God.
Take it. It's yours. But Oriath, I will burn to the ground.
Perhaps the suffering of my fellow citizen will finally stir something.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Rain of stars. Come here, you.
What's this? A real challenge. You finally caught my attention.
Where'd he go?
Die.
Okay, the damage could definitely be worse.
Die. Die.
Like, I'm pretty sure that I've done less damage to Sirus on my first try before. Come on, bud. Come here. You can do it. Let me get some regen. Just in case. There you go, bud.
The others found strength in their projections.
They became reliant. I am not so foolish.
Low mana.
No, I got hit by that star. Five monsters remain. Me, Zana, Irak, Sirus. I guess there must be a civilian left alive somewhere. Or if it's only counting Sirus as a monster, then it could just be, like, counting,
Interesting enough
like
to
three
warrant all this pain.
citizens. Ow, ow. Die.
Catch my breath.
Your lives are meaningless. Here, I think. Ooh, I got a little zoom in. Check out my Scourge weapon effects. Where'd he go? Wait, where did he go? Okay, he's in the storm. He's very in the storm right now. Zzz, bzz. Do you yet see the futility of your efforts? Where'd you go? Die. Die. Those stars come down pretty fast, huh? This world is doomed. Alright, here we go. On the edge of death, his heart races. Get some regen going. Don't get Cosmosed. On the edge of death, my heart races. I am love. That's good for you, bud. Proud of you. If it does die immediately, I'm gonna have to flame dash. I was pretty sure that he would. What? immediately again.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
You will long for
Oh, let me get over here. Where'd it go? Up here somewhere. There it is. Be silent. Nope, come on. Here to not get hit by a die beam. Will of the Void. No, come on. It sure gives you a lot of time to do that, huh? Duh.
Low on mana.
Die. Be silent. Oh, well, it didn't hit me for as much damage as I thought it would.
Just need a moment to catch my breath.
Okay, teleport. I would say, I think if he die beams while he's down there, I think I die. But he teleported first. I believe we will kill him here. Okay, never mind. One more phase. Doot doot doot. And there he goes. At least I felt something. 5C Watchstone. Thing to corrupt.
Sirus, this was all my fault. I'm sorry.
But he did. Definitely took a while.